further up the hill. But tonight, she and other neighbors are reacting to the news of Fleming's arrest as we are uncovering some other previous disturbing charges that he was already facing.
Yeah, so this is blood from his gunshot wound in the arm here.
It's been 2 weeks, but Renee Lauren still has evidence markers on her porch, along with fresh memories.
My 14-year-old, he had came in and he was like, "Mom, you need to come outside. A guy's been shot," and he said to call 911.
She called police and listened to the man tell officers about Adam Fleming staying with the men in an apartment up the hill.
And they came running from the apartment complex.
She says Fleming got into an argument with his friend over a suspected assault and pulled out a gun. St. Helens police say Fleming shot his friend and another roommate, then took off before officers arrived. Both victims were taken to the hospital and are expected to recover. A young girl also at that apartment was not hurt in the shooting. This week, Fleming was discovered in Sacramento, California, and taken into custody by U.S. Marshals.
I'm getting like posts everywhere saying that they caught him, they caught him. It actually made me sleep a lot better last night.
Officials say he faces multiple charges in the incident, including attempted murder, assault, and sex abuse. And it's not the first time he's faced charges along that line. Investigators say back in 2017 and 2018, Fleming downloaded child pornography on multiple occasions. He was arrested in Clackamas County on more than a dozen counts of encouraging child sexual abuse.
Events get brought to certain people because I have a belief that the higher power knows that we can put an end to this and not let this go any further. And I feel that that's exactly how this whole scenario planned out, to actually take this man off the streets and not ever have an opportunity again.
So we heard from several neighbors and a member of his family that Fleming used to be in the Army. I've reached out to officials to learn more about his time in the military. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. We do know that St. Helens police want to extradite him back here to Oregon. Right now, he's scheduled to appear in a Sacramento court tomorrow afternoon. We're live in St. Helens. Emily Burris, KOIN 6 News.
All right, Emily, thanks for the update. A pilot in the hospital tonight following a fiery plane crash in Marion County. It happened this afternoon near Jordan Street and Howell Prairie Road Southeast, just north of Almsville. Now, the pilot told deputies the plane caught fire mid-flight after a mechanical issue, and he had to make an emergency landing. He was able to get out of the plane on his own. Then it burst into flames. No one else was on board.
The search for a suspect in a police shooting is ongoing tonight. This as police release the name of the detective involved. Calvin Davenport was being investigated for promoting prostitution near Southwest Slope and 83rd last night when police say he drove his car at officers. That's when Detective Tom Stewart, they say, fired a round, hitting the windshield of the car. An hours-long search for Davenport came up empty-handed. If you recognize that suspect or maybe know where he is still at this point, be sure to call 911.
A man accused of killing his mother and attacking his brother is facing some new charges tonight. Investigators say Michael Ross tried to hire another inmate in the Washington County Jail to kill his two brothers. That includes the brother he attacked in Tualatin back in May 2018. Ross is now facing 2 solicitation charges and will be in court to face the new charges next month.
There are warnings tonight of a cougar roaming a part of southwest Portland.
Yeah, a cougar was caught on camera at a nearby homeowner in the Dunthorpe neighborhood on Sunday night around 9:30. And that's not the only time that cat has been spotted. Lisa Balick live in the Tryon Creek Park area, and she's talked to 2 people who've actually seen the cougar, Lisa?
Yes, I saw the cougar and they tell me that it took off. Now, the park remains open and the head of the park says there's no reason to panic, but Portland wildlife officials say, hey, keep in mind this area is cougar country. This is the cougar a Dunthorpe homeowner captured on camera Sunday night. Wildlife biologists believe it's an adult cat, and it could be the same one spotted by a high school cross-country runner this morning at Tryon Creek.
I was actually by myself down on Ironman Bridge, and I saw a cougar about 50-75 meters upstream.
Jules told me the cat saw him and bolted out of the creek and into the woods. That encounter was at about 10 this morning. Biologists tell me cougars are often active during the day as well as night. This area is known to have deer, but cougars are often hunting for food. Jules and his coach reported the sighting to park rangers.
And it's likely the same cat. It sounds like it's a large, healthy adult cat, which is good. It doesn't mean that it's struggling or injured, which is a larger concern for safety. So it sounds like it was keeping a good distance from people.
Park staff is letting visitors know and reminding them to keep pets on a leash. There are day camps here this week. The park manager says they don't want to overreact, but they're keeping kids closer in and making sure they stay in groups. It turns out this could be the same animal spotted near Hallinan Elementary School in Lake Oswego last month. Dirk Lowe called police after the cat suddenly ran in front of his car, then leaped over a fence.
He was only about 25 yards max away from me. He turned and looked right at me in the face, and I know a cougar when I see one. It was the color, it was the face, and then the black on the tail.
The State Department of Fish and Wildlife is aware of the cougar sightings, but they don't take action if the animal is not threatening people or livestock. Now, adult male cougars have a wide range, anywhere from 50 to 150 square miles. There have been sightings in Lake Oswego before. Now, if you come close to a cougar, the main thing to keep in mind is don't run. It's like a game of tag. You become it. Instead, just back away, as difficult as it may be to do. Live in Southwest Portland, Lisa Balick, KOIN 6 News.
We'll continue to follow the cougar story. Lisa, thank you. Let's talk about this weather, Jennifer. 80 degrees out there. It's nice, Natasha.
So nice.
Oh, it's perfect. I don't know why we're not here. Look at this.
There's a chair right there with my name on it.
There it is again, every time.
I don't know what that says about me, but...
It's permanently engraved. All right, so Stoller Winery is looking really nice. Partly cloudy skies here for portions of the valley where temperatures are just hanging into the upper 70s and low 80s. 81 Hood River, the Dalles 84, upper 70s for you, Central Oregon, and mid to upper 60s along the coast. We are talking about another chance for rain starting more so tomorrow night. But how much could we measure through tomorrow night? It'll be the coastline that'll see the most rain, possibly up to 3/10 of an inch for you in Seaside. Portland and Salem, maybe a few hundredths of an inch. Not expecting much initially, but by the time we get to Friday, we could be talking about closer to about 1/10 of an inch. Tomorrow morning, waking up to 61, mostly cloudy skies. It will definitely be cloudier tomorrow. Daytime highs, though, tomorrow only reaching the upper 60s to low 70s. We'll talk about that coming up.
Okay, thanks, Natasha. We're learning now of two efforts to try to recall Oregon Governor Kate Brown.
Now, so far, one petition has been approved for circulation. The Salem man behind that effort even has a website dedicated to the recall called flushdownkatebrown.com. The other recall push is backed by Oregon GOP Chair Bill Courier. To force a recall, an individual petition has to collect more than 280,000 valid signatures, more than 250,000, within a period of 90 days. So we'll keep you posted on those recall efforts. And we have reached out to Governor Brown's office, have not received a response so far.
The governor did sign a new zero-emission vehicles bill into law this week. SB 1044 requires that all light-duty vehicles owned or leased by the state of Oregon be zero-emission vehicles, or ZEVs, as they're called, by 2029. If the bill's goals are met, 90% of all new vehicles sold in the state and 50% of all registered Oregon vehicles will be ZEVs by the year 2035.
Well, many people are worried the proposed expansion of the Zenith Energy oil terminal could lead to more train derailments here in Oregon. Last night, hundreds of people packed a forum at the University of Portland. The meeting came after the Bureau of Development announced that Zenith will be awarded a temporary occupancy permit this week. It allows Zenith to begin using its newly built system for unloading tank cars, which potentially means more trains running through city neighborhoods.
And I'm also concerned as your mayor about the possibility of future fossil fuel exports from the city of Portland. From my perspective, that's a non-starter.
We reached out to Zenith for comment on last night's rally, and we're waiting to hear back. City leaders say they could block Zenith by requiring full insurance to cover a risk to the community or tightening loopholes to ban unrefined fossil fuels.
A 67-year-old man will spend more than 9 years behind bars in connection to a string of bank robberies. Danny K. Alston pleaded guilty in February to robbing 4 banks in Southwest Washington and Oregon in a one-month span back in 2017. In fact, this is an image taken from a Salem bank. Alston stole nearly $12,000 in all, and we found out he does have burglary convictions spanning 4 states over the course of 5 decades.
Investigators Investigators are hoping a witness comes forward to help track down a shooter at Dawson Park. Now, police say a fight started in the North Portland Park last night. Someone opened fire. There were no injuries reported, but a car was shot up. The Oregon Humane Society called out its technical animal rescue team, the Humane Society did, to save a dog stuck on a hillside for days. That's their special team when they have to rescue animals.
Yeah. Now, the rescue happened yesterday in Canby. And get this, neighbors say that they actually heard this dog in distress for about a week. And after surveying the scene with a drone, the rescue leader went down 75 feet. It was a pretty steep hill all the way to the dog. And actually, it wasn't hurt. It was just pretty thirsty and hungry, but it doesn't have a microchip either. So it's currently being cared for at Clackamas County Dog Services.